and it might be the next slide, this three-part definition that talks about sobriety, that talks about global health, measured how? Physical health, emotional health, spiritual health, what? Occupational, relational in terms of family, social supports, and some kind of life in the community. We even talked with some people about language like life, meaning, and purpose, although that'll differ dramatically from person to person. Types of recovery. We're beginning to talk about different types and styles. And all of this is in the monograph you have in the article called Varieties of Recovery Experience by Kurtz and myself. And we talked about, we have abstinence-based recovery, moderation, recovery resolution. There should not be any controversy related to this today. It is common sense. Yes, we have people who resolve alcohol and drug problems by decelerating the frequency and intensity of their use. Period. Now here's the key. Who are they? In terms of those vulnerability factors, they tend to be people without all those vulnerability factors. In terms of people with recovery capital, they tend to be what? People with lots of recovery capital. And in terms of problem severity, another key, they tend to be at low and moderate levels of problem severity. As soon as I add those other factors in, what happens to the probability of a moderated resolution? It's almost linear. As those problems increase, the probability of a moderated resolution really declines. And by the way, even people who successfully pull this off for a while often migrate towards abstinence. And when we interview them and say, why? Because we couldn't identify pain. We couldn't identify problems and consequences to their continued use. Why then did you shift to abstinence? And they said, it's just too damn much work. It's too hard. I mean, it's this incredible act of will. And it suddenly dawned on them, this is not normal drinking. I mean, normal drinkers don't sit around that preoccupied of having to measure every sip that's going into their body and say, I can't take the fifth sip because I'm past the fourth line. I mean, that's not normal. They just said it wasn't worth it. It was a whole lot easier just not to use. Medication-assisted recovery. We have a whole arena of new medications. We have aversive agents that go back to 1947-48. We got maintenance agents that go back to the mid-1960s through methadone and LAM. We got buprenorphine and probably a host of other drugs coming fairly quickly. And we've got anti-craving agents in the alcoholism world particularly.